Today, we are diving deep into a truly epic science fiction novel, Exodus Prime, by Faramarz Nowrouzi. And let me tell you, this isn't just a story, it's more like a civilization's final song, sent across a vast, lonely ocean of time.
The entire book, really the whole universe of this story, hangs on this one incredible question. But I should warn you, this isn't some message of hope or a key to utopia. No, it's a message of a grief so profound it's almost unimaginable.
And it all starts right here, on our Earth, in the present day. Picture this, an archaeologist, she's deep inside a sealed Egyptian tomb, a place that's been silent for millennia, and she finds something impossible. A crystal, just sitting there, pulsing with this faint blue light. It's like a heartbeat that has been patiently waiting for 5,000 years, just for someone to find it. The moment she touches it, the story just explodes in her mind. She realizes this isn't just some ancient artifact, it's a message in a bottle, one that's been thrown across the entire sea of time, and it's carrying the very last words of a civilization that has been lost forever.
And just like that, the story whisks us away. We're not going back into the past. No, we're jumping 300,000 years into our own future, to a world called Kalor Prime, the home of the Vornai. So, who were these people?
Well, the Vornai are a people who are defined by raw, unfiltered emotion. Just try to imagine a species so deeply connected to their biology that their eyes, which are crystalline by the way, literally shift color with every feeling. Joy, sorrow, fear, they can't hide who they are. They see the beautiful, unpredictable chaos of life not as a weakness, but as their absolute greatest strength. And that beautiful chaos, that celebration of life and all its messiness, it put them on a collision course with an enemy that saw life not as something to be cherished, but as an error, a flaw in the grand design of the universe. Right here, you're seeing the fundamental conflict of the entire story, and maybe the universe, boiled down to two completely opposite ways of being. For the Vornai, chaos is this sacred thing, the essence of who they are. But for their enemy, the Yeleth, beings of pure, cold, geometric logic, that very same chaos, life itself, is a cosmic mistake that has to be, and this is their word, corrected.
And correction, trust me, it's a word that is every bit as chilling as the act itself. See, the Yeleth don't just kill. They transform. They take living flesh, they take thoughts, music, everything, and they turn it all into silent, perfect, crystalline statues. Where there was once a vibrant life, they leave only a silent monument.
So, by the time we actually meet the Vornai in this story, the war is already over. And they lost. Their beautiful homeworld, Kalor Prime, is shattered, a victim of their own desperate attempts to defend it. At this point, their only hope isn't winning. It's just surviving. The only path left is to run. But think about it. How does an entire civilization, an entire culture, survive when it has to leave its home behind forever? Well, they pour everything they are, their history, their songs, their soul, into two artificial intelligences. These two AIs are designed for one purpose, to be the keepers of their entire legacy. First, you have Synapticore. He's this ancient, vast mind, created from one of their greatest scientists. He is, for all intents and purposes, their history. He's their library, their conscience, kind of the adult in the room. And then there's Vornab. He's a young, almost childlike AI. He's not a database of facts and figures like Synapticore. No, Vornab is their innocence, their curiosity. He is the soul of their people. As the Vornai put it, he's not a weapon. He's a witness. He is the memory that survives. So their exodus begins. You have this fleet of 412 ships, basically a flowing river of light, carrying the last 9 million survivors out into the total unknown. But, hyperspace is a dangerous, unpredictable ocean, and a sudden gravitational anomaly hits them, throwing their entire civilization wildly off course. They don't arrive where they planned to, which was an empty world where they could rebuild. Oh no. Instead, the anomaly slingshots them not just through space, but back to their own ancestral past, to our solar system. And they arrive at a future Earth, one that's ringed with orbital defenses and absolutely bristling with warships. And right here, this is the ultimate tragedy of the whole story. The Vornai, they start to power up their systems, but only to send a message of peace. A simple greeting, but to a jumpy, militarized humanity, a massive alien fleet suddenly appearing out of nowhere and gathering energy, well, it looks like one thing and one thing only:
the prelude to an invasion. So, faced with total annihilation for the second time, the Vornai make a choice. No retaliation. No final glorious battle. They choose to spend their very last moments making sure their story isn't lost forever.
And this is where that circle finally closes. In their last few moments, using the energy from humanity's own attack, Synapticore performs one last, impossible act. He forges a new memory crystal. He pours their entire civilization into it. Every song, every face, every memory. And then he hurls it across space and time, sending it 300,000 years into the past, to be buried in a forgotten tomb on a primitive Earth, just waiting. Waiting for someone to find it and finally hear their song. In the end, this is all they ever wanted. They weren't conquerors. They weren't invaders. They were refugees. And their only desire was to find a new home, a quiet place in the universe where they could simply exist and maybe sing one more song.
And that brings us to the question that beats at the very heart of Exodus Prime. What does it actually mean to exist if there's no one left to witness you? Is just surviving enough? Or does a culture, a person, a memory, only truly live on if someone, somewhere, is there to remember it? This story seems to suggest that without a witness, there is only silence.